Hello, everybody, and welcome to another week of Tales from the Tavern, week 30, season finale. We're going to take 2 weeks off after this one, so I'm super excited to be here with a very fun group of guests who I am going to let them introduce themselves in just a minute. But I'm really happy that you all are here. Like I said, we're going to take the next 2 weeks off, and when we come back in 2 weeks, we are doing it with a vengeance, because 2 weeks from now, and I'll remind you about all this later, 2 weeks from now is our Extra Life charity weekend stream extravaganza. I don't know, there's probably some other words I can throw in there. I am not muted, yay me. So yes, we will be coming back. Paradise RPG coming in with the raid. Thank you so much.
What have you
yeah, all the cool people are here, so I'm just gonna go around and let everybody introduce themselves. Beaz, we're gonna start with you. Or not, whatever.
Pass.
Okay, fine.
What is up, everybody? I am Big Beaz, variety streamer, TTRPG enthusiast, voice actor, and of the wee baby Seamus in regards to speedrunning. I'm getting into it. Speedrunning Mega Man X, and
Nice.
My hands hurt.
Speedrun's hard, dude.
But
yeah,
yeah. I mean, I'm excited. I don't know what else to say. I feel like I don't know what to do with my hands.
I'm literally sitting here going like this right now because I'm so wound
up.
Yeah.
I'm like doing like I'm messing. My hands are like doing so much like outside of the camera. It's like I'm just throwing up like Naruto, crazy jutsu signs right now. I'm like,
If you summon a shadow clone, I will be blown away.
I mean, seriously.
Oh gosh, Staghorn David from Good Better Quest just said, "Do the Macarena with him."
Yeah. Oh, I can do that the whole. Wait, I think. Yeah.
There you go. Hey, Macarena.
Is this when I started taking off my clothes, Luna?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh.
And you can tell it's already gone way off the rails. Beaz, I'm super glad that you're here. Beaz has not been available on Sundays for quite a while, but I happened to message him the other day and I went, "Hey, are you free on Sunday by any chance?" And he was like, "Actually, I am." And I was like, "Great, because now you're booked." So, Christian, let's get some info on who you are.
Hello, I am Christian Spinella. I am one of the people that make From Afar podcast. I play Kippa on the show. I also edit our sound design, do a bunch of other stuff. I rock climb, I take photos, hang out with Goovy a lot.
True.
Talk in accents sometimes. It's about all you need to know about me.
I like the sudden slip into the accent, so that's good. And speaking of Goovy, we'll head over to you.
Hi, I'm Gudval Maxon. I am the other quarter of From Afar podcast that's appearing here tonight. I just play Seacart Nozagar on From Afar podcast. I also am working on launching our Twitch, but that's neither here nor there. It's not a thing yet. Other than that, I'm a big nerd who collects board games and TTRPGs, and I like bartending and making cocktails for people. That's about it. Oh, and I hang out with Christian a lot.
Yeah.
I moved back across the country 50% just to hang out with him. The other 50 was like, want to be around my family and stuff.
Well, now that you know that you're back there, the other 25% can be part of that 50% can be 25% to hang out with Beaz.
Right.
There you go.
I know, yeah.
Right.
We just learned that Beaz lives in Central Florida with us.
Yeah. We're occupying the same area.
We're all in the same house right now.
We discovered that within this stream we have only two. Usually we're like really good, like we've got somebody from Canada and someone from the UK and someone from like Mexico and whatever, and tonight, nope, we just did Florida and New England. That's it. That's all you get. Sorry.
Sorry.
So, yeah. And speaking of my fellow New Englanders, Aaron, we're going to go over to you next.
Well, hi everybody. My name is Aaron Littlefield. I am a TTRPG enthusiast and have been for a very long time. I don't create any content, but boy do I boost the hell out of content on Twitter, and anytime I see somebody posting something about a new project that they're doing, I'm right there retweeting it and sending it out to the world, just trying to boost people up and give people
You're a good person.
Thank you. Give people the the attention that they deserve. I currently play in 2 different D&D games, non-streaming, and I DM a game for preteens.
Hell yeah.
And they are and not only is it for preteens, but it is preteens who have never played the game before. So it is introduction to not only tabletop role playing, but D&D specifically, and it is wonderful to see these kids try and work their way through the things that I toss at them. It's just wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. And I'm also a member of a improv comedy troupe. Off-brand improv. We have unfortunately been sidelined due to the pandemic, but fingers crossed, we're going to be back up and running sometime soon. So
Awesome.
Hell yeah, I love that.
I love
Nice.
it. Improv comedy is one of my favorite things ever. So,
I mean, it certainly helps with DMing, that's for sure.
I bet.
Right.
It helps with every facet of Dungeons
Yeah.
and Dragons possible.
Yes.
Mhm.
I will get back to that in a minute because I want to shout out a group that's local to this area. And Kyellan, you probably know who they are, but
Probably.
let's hear from you.
Hi, everybody. But first, I have a quick question for Aaron. So, Aaron, you say
Yes.
these D&D games you play are not streaming games. So
Correct.
They're podcasts, right?
No, they're not that either.
hang on. There
One
are
or the
games
other,
that
baby.
aren't streamed or podcasts? I didn't know this was...
It's amazing.
Blasphemy.
Anyway,
I
hi,
didn't know that
everybody.
happened.
I am Kyellan. I am 1/3 of Tumbledie Games, and we're a game development company. And I have also recently started making music for tabletop RPGs. I'm currently releasing 1 song every week for free. And when I say free, I mean both 0 cost and 0 royalty. So if you have a podcast or a live stream or something that you'd like to feature them on, well, they're there for you. Just let me know. You can follow me at Kyellan. Oh no, Luna, there's a typo in my name.
Oh no!
Oh no.
We'll fix it.
No.
If you want to
Okay.
message it into the group chat for
Sure,
the
sure.
call.
Second E is an A.
Yep, the second E is an A. Yeah, exactly.
We'll fix it.
But anyway, I've been making music. In fact, the music that you heard when it started up is actually mine. Those are some unreleased tracks by my fictional 5-piece band of bards.
I love
Because
that.
you know how everybody always says we should play D&D as a rock band. Well, I'm making that group, and they have real music. So
That's awesome.
That kicks so much ass right there.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna need you to tag me in anything you put on Twitter so I can just shove that out to the world.
Yep, mhm,
got it.
absolutely.
Yes.
I love it. Yes. So everything, all the music that you heard during our starting soon screen was all done by Kyellan. The titles of the tracks were right on the screen. If you weren't here or you missed it or you forgot what the names of them were, they'll be back again on our BRB screen when we go to take a break. So you can check them out then. But yeah, definitely awesome stuff. I know that your work has been featured in the Lawful Great Adventures podcast because I am we are both very avid listeners, as we have found on Twitter.
we are.
Yes.
And in fact, Tale of the Manticore also had one of my
Yes.
tracks in it recently, which was also very cool. So
Yeah.
here's a shout out to John because he's running a great thing there.
Yes,
So,
yeah, his
That's
stuff is
awesome.
really cool. He's been on Tales before too. Actually, I should
yes.
get it back
With
on
me,
here.
in fact.
Was it
That's
with
where
you?
I met him.
That's
was on.
right.
That's where I actually talked to
Oh,
him.
yeah.
Was on here.
Mhm.
So
There you go.
bringing people together. It's what we do.
Yes, it's what
That's
we
awesome.
do.
That's awesome.
I love it.
I'm the one that edits like music and stuff into our show, so I'll be checking your
Nice.
stuff out.
There you
Or
go.
Please do.
Dude, I was perusing some of his stuff earlier today,
Yeah.
and it's good.
It's really
Thank
good.
you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I was listening to it while
yeah.
playing Darkest Dungeon and getting very angry, but the soothing ambiance of the Poseidon track really helped
Oh.
calm me down.
Ooh,
Excellent. Yeah, that's a nice chill one.
Yeah. I know. So I actually, full disclosure, I am one of Kyellan's supporters on Patreon, and the
Thank you.
one that he released right afterwards, he was like, "This one's for you," and it was like this super lo-fi, like really chill. I was like, "Oh yeah, this is right up my alley."
Ah,
Awesome. Well, for those of you who are in chat, if you've never been here before, basically the way that this stream works is all of our questions come from you. So feel free to just drop your questions right into chat. I will see them, and I will make sure that we can get them answered by your group. We also have in our channel point redemptions, one of the things that we have in there is a ask my question next. So for 1,000 channel points, you can have your question bumped up to the next one in the queue. So if you were like, oh my gosh, there's a super long line of questions and I want to ask one, then go ahead and use that. There are 3 of those available every night. So we have a couple of questions that have already come in, so we're going to dive right into those. The first one that we have is from Zealzaddy, and the question,
hey, Zealzaddy.
yeah, the question
Damn,
is,
Zaddy.
do you, at this point, as a DM or GM, still run for non-family RPG newbies?
Well, I mean, I'll go back to the kids that I DM for. Not a single one of them is a family member. I know 2 of them personally because I know their parents, but other than that, they are all kids who I've never met before, and they all just kind of came in as well. What's Dungeons and Dragons? And I mean, and they
What
and their
a
parents.
beautiful question.
It
Right?
is. It's a
Yeah.
wonder. And as a matter of fact, the very first thing I did with them was there was 3 of them that really just had the questions about it. So I just started off with a Zoom meeting with the 3 of them, and I just said, "Ask me your questions." And I just presented information to them as they asked. I tried to give them I tried to give them answers that would allow them to ask more questions and giving them detail, but opening up the table for more discussion with it. And as I talked to them about it, I could see that excitement in their faces and see, like, wait a minute, you mean I get to tell my story? I get to do more than just push a button, or I can walk all the way there and not hit an invisible wall. And it's
Yep.
like, you can do that. You can do that 300 times if you want. I'm not going to stop you. You go and do whatever you. It's really, and just to see that dawning of knowledge in them about it is really fascinating. So yes, I love DMing for a group of newbies like this. I really do.
I
So awesome.
can't say that I do at this point in time, and it's not that I wouldn't. There just aren't very many local newbies to Dungeons and Dragons around me. I do run a game outside of From Afar podcast, but my sister's in it, so it doesn't count as a non-family member newbie. It was, the essence of it was, though, at the start, that it was a bunch of people who all were interested in Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, they'd heard of it or heard me talk about it, and they were just like, I want to give that a shot. And it was a bunch of my friends, and as well as my sister, who I love very much and I'm very close to, we went through like the starter set, nice casual time, Lost Minds of Phantom, nothing too crazy. And then next thing I know, they were like, can we do another one? And I was like, well, all right. We did a one shot out of one of the many, I think it was the Tales from the Yawning Portal one shot.
Mhm.
And then they were like, can we do more? And like, now we're doing Descent into Avernus. So
Oof.
it's not like a game for newbies anymore, because it's been like over a
Right.
year now. But I love running. I love the fact that I get to be a player on From Afar podcast, but most of my TTRPG career has been GMing and DMing, and I absolutely adore doing it. There's a sweet thing of just being able to show a new person this awesome hobby or show a veteran player, give them a stage to really shine on. So I'd be super down if anybody wants to try a new game.
Related question before I answer. When you played Fandelver, did your team adopt the goblin?
They did not. They were
Okay.
cold-blooded. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. It seems to be about 50-50, so that's
It's
why
about
I've been like
50-50.
collecting data.
I've run Lost Mines of Fandelver, I think 5 times, and I think it's 2-3 split of murder
Really?
or adopt.
Yep. Okay, that sounds about right. I have in the past and will again, I'm sure, run for newbies. Like I'm sure most of these guys here, most of my experience has been as a dungeon master. I am the forever DM. So most recently, I had a friend, one of my regular group, his roommate, who's like 50 and had never played Dungeons and Dragons before, was curious. So he joined us for a few sessions, and that was really neat. Unfortunately, his schedule got in the way, and he wasn't able to play for long. But it was super cool to have a complete newbie on board.
Always
we
such a
actually had,
refresher.
yeah, and we had actually jumped to Planescape for that. So to see him so happily pick up the ability to play a Mind Flayer right off the bat was just mind blowing. It was super cool. So I look forward to my next opportunity.
I love starting campaigns with new groups and stuff. Unfortunately, as is the curse with TTRPGs, there's a lot more starts than there are finishes.
Yeah.
Much like love making.
My God, that's the truth. I'm not cursed with the forever DM like you guys.
Yeah, me
I'm
either.
actually the opposite for the most part. I've been a player, thankfully.
Oh, hey.
But I have DM'd, which let me tell you, I'm so glad that I've DM'd and I'm not like any of you guys out there who are players who have never DM'd, DM a game. DM a game. I don't care what it is. If you just go up to Candy Mountain with Charlie, I don't care. Just DM a game.
Deep pull.
Because because you don't fully understand that other side of the table until you do. And my God, if it's something just like a quick 2-hour session that you guys are just gonna go and punch a goblin in the nuts and go home, if that's it, there's so much that you have to like put into it before, deal with during, and then like you're worried making sure everybody's happy with it and all that stuff. So yeah, please DM if you can, just so you understand all that.
Yeah.
But like I said, I've been lucky to just, I'm not stuck in the forever DM curse. I've been a player for a while now. I haven't DM'd in a long time, which I wanted to get back into DMing, so I'm writing a one shot to do so.
Nice.
Now, would I do a game for newbies? 1000%. That's actually, with the one shot I'm doing, I'm planning on snatching some people that aren't in the TTRPG community and be like, hey, you want some of this free Pokemon candy? Come look and play. So, yeah, 100%.
That's awesome.
I gotta agree with you. If you're a player and you haven't DM'd before, absolutely do it. I have to absolutely say, because you're right. You don't know what happens on the other side of that screen. You really don't understand it. But when you do, it makes the experience of being a player, I think, a lot more fun.
Yeah.
A lot more fun, and you can empathize as well. Like, if they're struggling or having a hard time, it's like, hey, it's okay. Like, take your time. Like, everything's gonna be all right. Like, you're gonna do fine.
Also,
Absolutely.
to add on to it, I think sometimes when you have somebody who's been a player for a very long time hopping into the DM seat, it's you get this rare moment to see this unique take that they're going to put on what it's like to run a game. I mean, a prime example, not to shout out my boy, but Christian had been a player with me countless times, and I had to have been 4 or 5 years till you did your one shot.
Yeah.
And he, like, dove in, created this incredible world, this city that like was on the side of a mountain, and he had all these intricacies and stuff planned out that were just like cool to experience. And it ended up being like one of my most enjoyable one-shots I've played in. And it's like, we wouldn't have gotten to that if Christian hadn't stepped up to the plate to DM a one-shot. And
Well, that's
so I
awesome.
think like when a player finally does step into that DM seat, they're 9 times out of 10 gonna have just a real unique time, because they're gonna DM differently than they've been DM'd. I feel like it's never gonna be the same.
Yeah, I found it to be very, very fun and freeing, just because I enjoy, like, playing a character has its own, like, merits, and just being able to like really dive in on one person and understand them is exciting. But then when you realize as a DM, you're like, oh, I get to do so many different voices, or like, they just want to like stop a passerby. It's like, I just get to make someone right now. Like, it's really exciting, but it's a lot. Like I remember that one shot that I ran for them. It was like on my birthday, and I wanted to do it for my birthday. So it was really just a fun, like, kind of celebration thing. And I drank like 6 beers or something like that. And at the end of it, I was like, I am stone cold sober. I was like,
DMing keeps you sober.
Really, your brain is just pumping so much freaking.
The alcohol's
iron.
trying to get in, and your brain's like, no,
Not right now.
no.
Too busy. Too busy.
I've got things to do, alcohol.
Right?
Yeah.
Not today. I've DM'd twice in my life, both well before I got into like the TTRPG scene on Twitch or Twitter or anything like that. So my suggestion would be for anybody who is getting into it for the first time, like having been a player and wants to get into it for the first time, or even just getting into it in general, find a group that you feel comfortable making mistakes with, because if you're not comfortable with that, then you're not going to, like, I don't think you can put your all into it, because you're going to try to play it safe. And that's not what anybody at the table wants. So I was lucky the first time I DM'd. I had a great group of people. We were playing the Dragon Age system. And so it was nice because I knew the lore. I knew all of that stuff already from having been obsessed with the games for quite a while. So I didn't need to learn all of that stuff on top of it. It was just the mechanics of the game, and that helped too. But the second time I DM'd, I was with a slightly less supportive group, and I didn't know the mechanics probably as well as I should have or could have for how long I'd been playing the game at that point. And it was frustrating for me, and I could tell it was frustrating for them too, because I was like, they would do something and I would not know how to respond to that. So, be comfortable with the group that you're in, I guess, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah. And like that's not always like the easiest thing to find.
Yeah.
And like,
True.
there's like TTRPG horror stories and stuff. And I like, whenever I see them, I'm just like, oh, you sweet angel. Can I run a game for you?
I know, right? You feel so bad.
Seriously.
Yeah. I made that mistake of going down the Reddit rabbit hole.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh no.
Yes. And I was just like,
horror stories.
at first, it literally went like this. Oh, what's this? Oh, okay. 5 minutes later. Oh. 30 minutes later. 2 hours later. Another hour later?
You feel dirty. You feel dirty reading some of them.
Seriously.
Like, how could you run a game like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Luna, don't feel bad about not knowing like the rules very well. When I first started playing 5th edition, because I'd played 3.5 and a couple other games.
Yeah.
But it'd been a few years since I'd touched a TTRPG. And when I first ran 5th edition, we like opened up the starter set and I just started going. I didn't know anything about the rules, and then they were like, I attack, and I was like, roll a d12. Like that to me, like one of those, it's a memory that sits in my brain rent free, because I was like, why did you make them roll a d12? A D20 is like the iconic thing. Why did you say that? Why did you do that?
My issue is everything reminds me of a song lyric. Everything. Like, it's literally like the one thing that probably drives people nuts when they're at the table with me. And so there was you guys may know it, but there was a parody of the song Like a G6 that was made, only it's called like Roll a D6. And so
I love that.
Right?
I don't know this, but I want it.
I'm pretty sure if you just look it up on YouTube, you can find it pretty easily. And so every time somebody's like, okay, what do I roll? And I'm like, roll a D6, roll a D6. No, don't actually roll a D6. That's not what you need. That's not what you need to roll.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it.
I know, it cracks me up. Staghoard's singing it in chat, so it's okay.
I'm one of those, I don't know whether it's lucky or unfortunate people that I'm 36 years old and I have 30 years playing these games. And that's not an exaggeration. But my Pathfinder group, we still hit times where we're like, how does this work? I don't know. We're going to have to go look it up.
Yeah.
Because
I feel you so
remembers
hard.
Nobody remembers the grappling rules. And when somebody says, I want to start a grapple, like, we have to go look it up.
Are you using first edition?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are.
No, I feel that because that's what I play too on Wednesdays. And as a joke, our group actually made up a grapple flowchart. And it's literally like it was done in like MS Paint. And it's like, do you want to grapple? Yes, no. You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, yes
You
is
need
like
it.
in really tiny print. No is like huge.
Well, yeah, of course.
Don't grapple. What is
Don't,
it?
just don't.
Just
From
don't.
afar, we literally, I think, every single time that we have tried to shove, we stop and we're like, how does shove work again?
How
And
does
we're
this
like,
work?
Yeah.
I think it works like this. And
Yeah,
like,
and then-
we'll try to like ignore it and like keep moving. And invariably one of us, whether it's me, Andy, David, or Christian, will be like, hold on, I'm looking it up. Okay,
Yep.
shove can replace an attack. It's a special attack. Every single
That's
time.
it. Every time.
For me, it's the jumping rules. I never,
yeah.
I
Oh,
can
God.
never remember the jumping rules. It's like, how many feet can I jump? How much do I have to? I mean, how much room do I need to jump? Wait a minute,
Right.
and then you have to go
If
back
you
and
run
count.
10
my
feet,
God.
then it's 3 times. Like
And
your
then it's 3 times.
athletics.
But then if you have a special feat, you can go more. And if you're a monk, you can
Right.
ignore all that. And
But
then
if it's a
just
straight up jump, then it's just
It-
whatever.
right. And it's like, oh my God.
Yes.
Also-
Exactly.
Jumping in D&D, they are super fucking heroes.
Oh
Yes,
God,
they
yeah.
are.
Also,
Seriously.
like holding your breath is like, what?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
hold it for
In
10
fifth
minutes.
edition,
What?
You have a minute plus your con modifier. So if you have +5 con mod, you can hold
Mhm.
your breath for 6 minutes.
Exactly.
That's
Oh yeah.
ridiculous.
That's a long
But see-
time.
See, this is
Yeah.
why I just play a lizard man, and I can just hold my breath for 15 minutes. I don't have to calculate anything. It's just like, nope, I'm holding my breath 15 minutes. I'm done.
There you go. love it.
Amazing.
I would just cheat as a lizard man. Then I would just every battle we get into, I'm like, I'm gonna drag him underwater.
Yep. hmm
You're in
Oh,
the
I mean,
middle of a
it's-
Stare at
desert.
him underwater like.
Yep. Here we go. I got you.
Wait,
That's a valid tactic.
Beaz, you might have just come up with a great, like, you take a magic caster that can create water,
Mhm.
and then you
Oh
just
my
like
God! Yes.
grapple and create water and just hold them.
Create
There you
water.
go.
Lizard man, grab.
They're like, oh,
Amazing.
it's a wizard. What's he gonna do? Well, guess what? Boom.
Oh no! Wait a minute. Watery sphere.
Yeah.
Grab the watery sphere, and you
Yes.
just surround the lizard man while he's choking out, just holding somebody in the water. There we go. Brilliant.
Hey, okay, so I'm gonna let you guys know. Anybody plays a game with me, and you guys choose some kind of lizard person, I will drown you anytime someone's near you because I know you'll survive it. So I'm just letting you know right now.
Good to know.
Got it. I'm on board.
You're in a dungeon in the mountains. And what's this? A flood!
Underground lakes and rivers.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I love it.
Note to self, if I ever decide to DM a game that Beaz plays in, make it in the middle of the desert.
Pirates are
Oh, wait.
boarding your
You just
airship.
muted
There's a
yourself.
flood.
Beaz, you're muted.
You just muted yourself, Beaz.
Nope,
No.
still.
Nope,
still
muted.
muted.
You're still muted.
Oh
It's in
no!
Discord.
On Discord.
You're muted on Discord.
There you
There
go.
it is.
It's okay. I'm a professional, guys. Don't worry.
We're all
Doing this for
professionals here.
years.
Right?
I'm sitting here. Because I'm used to like clicking on Discord to mute and unmute myself. So I was like, oh, let me just set up my stream deck to do it so I can be a fancy boy. So I set it up and then I muted and then muted myself on Discord. So I'm like slamming on the button like hello. And then you guys are like, you're muted on Discord, and I'm like, oh, I knew that.
Beaz, I don't know if you will agree with the comedy of this, but if you have a stream deck, one thing you should absolutely program is that when you push a button, it just zooms in on your face like this. And it's just for like a second.
Oh,
But
Beaz is going
I
to do
use
it.
it so often for nothing. Just for anyone
just
makes
like
an
us.
inappropriate joke, or I'm playing a Dota and I die, and I'm just like, zoom in. It's my
Now,
favorite
should I do it
bit.
for every button, or should I just have a specific button? Like I change a screen and it just boom for a second and it goes back. I play a sound, boom.
Every scene I have in Streamlabs has a corresponding zoom scene and a button
nice.
to push to it.
Okay, I'm gonna need to get with you after this so you can teach me the ways, because yeah, I barely.
just so
It took
worth
me
it.
3 hours of crying to learn how to do shouting out on this thing. So yeah,
I feel you.
Oh my gosh. All right, let's
Oh,
move
man.
on to the next question that we have. We got one from. I know we've only been on one question.
One question.
Yeah, that's it. One question so far.
Wow.
Let's see. Jim the Dim would like to know voice acting or voice modulator.
Well, laddie, it's got to be the voice acting.
I don't know, you tell me, Jim.
You're right, proper bastard you are.
I prefer to do all my voices with just the accent. It's far more interesting that way.
Honestly, a mix of both, because
Well,
I've
Christian,
been in
you
some
have the
ga-
opportunity to show us both right now, brother.
Well, I can do whichever accent you want. What accent would you hear?
No, but I'm saying you can combine both right now.
This
is-
Porque
good
no
point.
los dos.
Voice
Hey,
modulation and accent at the same time? Ooh.
Ooh, wow, this is very nice.
Christian
That's
just became a
fabulous.
guy named Boris standing in a cave.
I would love to do accents, but I have like one.
I don't know, dude. I've heard your voice reel. It's pretty good. You do
There's
some
aren't
pretty good
accents. Those are just different voices.
Which is
So
an
I will do
accent.
different voices, but not accents. Accents, no. I mean, I can do kind of a Russian accent. I can do kind of an African accent. And then it's just after that, it's me attempting to do everything else horribly and failing. That's really it from there. So I will do voices all day, every day. As long as I can get a voice out there, sure. I'll come at you however I want. It's fine. But
A different accent, not just a different voice.
Oh God,
That's
I
like
can't.
the old miner, like.
Oh
kinda-
yeah.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Look off for my toes. It's all right.
Beaz,
That was
if
There
it makes
you
you
go.
feel any better, I'm a big nerd in everything I do. Whether it's bartending, boarding, anything I do, I like to like consume it. And I love accents. It is my favorite form of
I
comedy.
want to get
I
better.
will
like,
literally listen to, like, while I'm driving, hours of different accents, like whatever one I'm trying
That's
to
a good
focus
idea.
on. I'll listen to hours
That
of
is a
like
good
German
idea.
accents. I'll listen to hours of Russian accents. I
That's what I'm gonna do.
dive in, and it really helps, like, as you're hearing it, to just recreate the accent. And then, I don't know, one day I just started being able to do them. So you can do it too, Bubba. I heard that
have-
voice
I
reel.
have-
That's a good voice
I
reel.
have so much to learn from you, senpai.
honestly one of the
I
best
noticed you.
resources for accents is I just remembered it. It's IDEA, the International Dialects of English Archive.
Yes.
It's online. It is a fantastic resource. There is so many. They literally have speakers from country, almost every country, and they speaking in English, but their dialect is so different and it's so varied. And yep, I know, I hear you.
They were just trying to tell you about their favorite one.
You can tell me about your accent later, okay?
I speak Kitty.
I know you do. But I honestly love the archive because it is a wonderful place to just sit and just listen to these people talk, and then you just practice it yourself. And
Is it just IDEA.com?
It is dialectsarchive.com.
That's really cool.
Dude, I am in there. You
Absolutely.
don't know what you just did.
That's
I
so
get
cool.
insomnia. I just don't sleep ever.
Just do it. Just have fun.
Probably from like midnight to 6 a.m. I'm just gonna be listening to voices tonight.
I think you should.
So,
Honestly,
first thing is I don't know how to spell, so that's great. But thank God for Google because I found it. Yay!
there you go.
See, for voices, I usually just take the approach of a 50-50 chance that I either nail it or it's just completely off.
Yeah.
I tend to have some pretty good success, because it's either
if
it's high highs and low lows.
If it's a recurring character, you can kind of develop it over time,
Right.
For the podcast I've been working on my Solid Snake impression because it's a really good voice to have in your pocket.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
It's
Solid
pretty
Snake.
good. Yeah, it's not bad.
But it took like an hour and a half of doing it nonstop until I could find the right timbre.
Yeah, it does take a lot
You have
of
to
practice.
play with it a lot.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah,
the
I
solid
found-
snake. The solid snake voice is the one that after you've been using it for 10, 15, 20 minutes, then you start going, "Oh God, what did I just
Pretty
do?"
much.
Oh,
I need my
waters.
So
I'm sorry, hold on.
for some reason,
Another one that does that is, "Wow, stupid Fred Herbertsons."
Oh my God, that was so good.
That one will get you.
That was awesome.
Christian said,
Yeah.
no, stop, I'm gonna nut," but in Gollum's voice.
Oh
No, stop! I'm going to nut.
Oh my God!
Oh my God.
See, now if we're talking about like different
That's terrible.
kind of iconic cartoon or animation or things like that, I can do more of that. Like, I can get into, some things like that, like Kermit or some stuff.
Mhm.
But,
Kermit
it's
the Frog?
just like, oh yeah, sometimes, if you want to play some games with friends and you just sit down and I get my paladin because that's who I like to play for the most part. And, I just
That's
call him
amazing.
Kermit so no one can say it's me. And, I live my best life that way.
Please, can you say natural 20 and I'm gonna use Divine Smite, but in Kermit's voice?
God.
Oh, I do that all the time. I came up on this skeleton and I rolled the dice and I hit a nat 20 and I made sure before I attacked, I looked at the DM and I said, I'm gonna use Divine Smite. And I used it and killed him.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, that's fabulous.
Oh God, this is so good.
Oh, this is now.
And you want to know how I realized I could do that voice? Because of I don't know if any of you guys have seen them or remember them, but the old Sargento cheese commercials.
God, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And he was like, "Oh, hi, my name's Scott, and I'm here for Sargento cheese." I was like, "Oh, he sounds like Kermit." Like, "Oh, Kermit's here for Sargento cheese."
Amazing.
Your wife just showed up in chat and says, "No, not the Sargento man."
Oh. She's mad because she knows at one of these days I'm gonna come up behind her and just be like, "Oh, you're so sexy. Let me get some kisses, baby." And she's just gonna bow.
Please, can you say no, stop, I'm gonna nut, but in Sargento?
Oh, no, stop, I'm gonna nut. Oh,
Oh my God.
Oh God.
I have lost
crap.
control. I have lost all control.
It's all over.
We've gone rogue.
I knew this was
Oh
going to
my
happen
God.
with this group, though.
Oh Jesus.
Hey, you wanted a season finale. I mean,
I know, I did.
What a hell of a way to go out with bang, you know?
I have to say, the kids that I DM for, one of the things that they are constantly saying is like, "Oh my god, you do voices. I love I love your voices." Because every NPC they're encountering, I'm altering my pitch. I give them a silly accent. They're drunk, they're stiff, whatever have you. I just constantly having fun with it. Oh
Yeah.
man.
There's a lot you can do with rate of speech
Yep.
Yes.
to communicate a character.
Yeah.
You don't even have to necessarily change how you sound. Just the way how many words you deliver per minute can change a lot about how that goes too.
Yeah, definitely.
And then you just throw on the Russian accent and everything is better.
Yeah, and then sometimes, when you
Dance
panic,
is always break dance.
I am terrible at
Russian.
Accent, but I'm afraid it don't come off right. I go and fight men, and I come home, and I take, anyone who break into home, and I take his head and crush it like steroid between my thighs. It's fine,
in Mother Russia, the snow fights you.
Yeah,
You do not shovel snow. The snow shovels you. This is how it works.
No, you be real man. You don't use shovel to shovel snow.
You use beard.
hands and you use beard. If you can't use hands and beard together to shovel snow,
You are not
why
real
are you
man.
outside shoveling snow like man?
And then you go inside and you have your borscht.
Tell me,
Exactly.
brother, what is this dirty beer you speak of? We only drink vodka.
Oh,
Oh my god.
It's going off the rails.
Yeah.
I was
I'm
gonna
okay
say,
with it. Like I said, accents are my favorite type of comedy. I literally have, my eyes are
fun.
raw from wiping away tears, so I am not upset.
I can't do voices, so I usually will use a voice modulator, but the last time I really used one, I was playing a mouse folk, and so
Oh
I had
no.
to talk all the way up here like this, and I was like, I'm not doing that for 3.5 hours. It's just not happening.
No, it's not. No.
So
funny story about that is that's the one first time I played with Luna, and two, the first time I used voice modulator.
yes.
Ah,
Yep.
interesting.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we both used not the same voice, obviously, but the same.
Yeah.
That would have been hilarious. If I was a mouse folk that sounded like a Warforged, no.
Luna,
Yeah,
in
that-
your mouse
that was
folk
one of my
voice, can you
dreams.
say no, stop? I'm going to
No. Nope.
What line is drawn?
I got you.
But I
got you.
will say though, this morning I was streaming on my channel and I've been playing through Mass Effect Legendary Edition, so I'm like in the middle of Mass Effect. Oh my god, I love it. I love Mass Effect anyway, but I've been
Me
playing
too.
through Mass Effect Legendary Edition, and so I was doing something on Omega, and there's a club there called Afterlife, and just outside of the club there's this guy who stands out there who's like basically begging the bouncer to let him in, and he's like, come on, Arya's waiting for me. And I was like, oh my god, I want to play a character that talks like that the entire time. Oh my god, let me inside. Arya's waiting for me. I should be inside by now. Oh my god. I'm like,
Yeah.
I really want to do
wait.
that.
But like that voice, but like delivering the like epic one-liner after finishing the Lich and like
Yes.
you're level 15, 16, and it's like, oh my gosh,
Oh my
like you're
God.
not gonna corrupt our souls.
Right? Oh my god.
We're like
Just
so totally. You say, yeah, you got to really go full Valley Girl with that.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
well, it was funny because
You were like not gonna corrupt our souls.
you are not gonna corrupt our souls, okay? That's the kind of stuff that I'm more comfortable with. I used to be on another channel, and there was a stream there that was it was a cyberpunk setting, and I kept begging, like, if one of the cast had to be out, I was like, can I please just come in and play for, like, one? Like, I already know what my character is like, because she's like, this super bouncy, oh my god. And he was like, no, you are not coming on the stream and doing that for 3 hours.
Fuck.
I was like, I'm gonna
Wow,
put my
this
hair up in a
place is like-
ponytail and chew gum, and oh my god.
Oh my god, did you guys see how post-apocalyptic this is? My god, it's
my
just
God.
so dark.
Have you guys ever watched the TV show on Netflix called Schitt's Creek?
No.
I have.
So I'm watching it for the first time ever, and I've fallen in love with Alexis, the daughter,
Yes.
because she's very like, you know, that affluence aloofness
Yeah.
of just not necessarily understanding people. But like one thing that I've been saying since starting the show that she says often is like, "Oh my God, I love that journey for you."
Yeah. Oh.
Great.
Or like vice versa, like I just don't think that's the right journey for me right now.
Yeah.
And I can
Everything's a
just see
journey.
that. Yeah, everything's a journey. I could just see that being like a D&D character.
Oh,
Like,
totally.
you must go down into the dungeon and save my daughter. Oh my God, I love that journey for me right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just not
Yes.
sure that's the right
I'm
quest
not
for
sure,
me.
I'm not sure that's the right journey for me right now.
Now, here's an idea. Say you're a cleric, and you know, do like some kind of divine intervention or pray to your god, and you're like, I need you in this time of need. Can you answer these questions? Like, oh my God, what do you need? How can I help you?
It's like I don't know why I'm making so many TV and film references, but that's like the movie Little Nicky when
Yeah.
he
Oh, yeah.
dies and goes up to heaven, and his mom's Reese Witherspoon, and all the angels are just like the most ditzy, like, oh my God, you look so cute.
Oh yeah.
That's when I'd pull out my personal backstory. In a different lifetime, I was the person at the car dealership that was the Ken Goff, you have a call holding on extension 4101, Ken Goff.
I love it. Talk dirty to me,
Yeah.
Luna.
And I'm
Oh,
like,
boy.
that would be the type of voice that I would pull out, like, for someone's deity.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so you want me to do what for you today? I'm sorry, that's gonna have to wait. I just don't have time to squeeze that in this morning.
Sounds like a fast food order person.
I have an
Like,
availability maybe on Tuesday, but
I
kinda
can
seems
squeeze
like
you
need
in
it right
between
now.
12:40 and 12:50 on Thursday, if that will work.
That would be a great voice for the Archon responsible for answering prayers.
Yes.
Like, not the deity
Yeah.
themselves,
Yes.
but just the person who's stuck at the desk, like, dealing with intake.
Yeah.
He's on the switchboard,
Yeah.
like
Thank you for calling Paylor. Will you please hold? Yes, I'm sorry you've been holding for so long. He's taking lots of calls right now.
he's a very popular god.
So true.
I'm sorry.
Aw.
Can you hold for voicemail?
He'll call you back in the next 24 to 48 hours.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Oh, man.
You can expect your divine intervention to show up next Wednesday between the hours of 8 a.m. and 5 p.m.
You have to be there to sign for
You
it.
have to
or
But you
it's
have to be
gonna
there
be
to
returned.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, if you please hold, we'll have you answer one of our wonderful divine intervention surveys.
On a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the best, how was your experience today?
0.
By Torm's Majesty, how are you feeling?
Oh my god.
Holy crap.
Wow.
That was one of my favorite tangents I think we've ever gone on. We just talked about voices for like 3 hours.
It's so good.
I definitely just spit my iced tea out everywhere.
We did it. We did it.
Did it.
This is now only the second time that's ever happened on this stream. So,
We did it, guys.
Amazing.
We did it.
oh my
I'd like
gosh,
to think
David
I was there
Telstra,
for the first time, but I probably wasn't.
can we do a campaign where it's all the support staff to the DDs? I am in.
Oh my
Sign me up.
God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, please.
That would be
Oh,
so good.
Let
Oh
me
my-
know.
Oh,
Oh my god. All of the real troublemakers are middle management.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
The quest
I
is
swear
just
that
to get
report.
promoted.
I swear I sent that report in to you. I sent it last Monday. I don't know what happened to it. It's in my outbox. See?
Now, see, the problem is I'm looking at my email here and I don't see it.
All right. The meeting seems to be going poorly. Your pitch is not getting picked up by Paylor. I'd like to use lay on hands to repair this meeting.
my
I'm
god.
gonna cast Expeditious Retreat to get the hell out of the boardroom.
Oh my
I'm
god.
just gonna cast Featherfall and go out the window.
There you go. There you go.
I'm gonna let's see. I'm gonna cast Goodberry and leave snacks for everybody on the table.
Ooh, there you
Nice.
go.
Wanna cast
Damn it,
Polymorph?
Diane, you didn't bring any donuts?
Luna, but that's so
Hold on, let me
twisted.
do Goodberry real quick. I got it.
That's so twisted though, because Goodberry would fit into that like 80-hour work week mentality.
It really
like, the grind
would.
mentality, 'cause
Yeah.
you just eat one berry and you're good for the day. They're like, "What do you mean you need to take a lunch break?
Yeah.
You had a good berry at
You need lunch
breakfast."
Right. I saw you eat that Goodberry in the break room.
Contains all the nutrition you need.
Go to the bathroom. You had one good berry.
They're
What do you
on to
really
me.
need to do? With that?
Yeah, I'd definitely be casting Polymorph and starting a new life as this guy. 100%.
He looks pretty happy.
I mean,
He
he,
looks
does.
like he's having a good time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like
really
it.
does.
Oh, my goodness. Oh,
I mean,
that's so good. So what I'm thinking right now is we might, I think we should take our break a little bit early and we can dive back in with our next question, because our next question, I guarantee, is going to bring a lot of conversation. So,
No.
yeah, so
Yeah, the ones before this have really just been so lacking. And
I know, I know.
really?
Can't wait to get a topic we can actually talk about.
Have
Yes,
we
seriously.
only had 2 questions?
We've only had 2 questions, which is
Yeah.
good because we've only gotten in like 6. So
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Oh, well,
Very
good.
good then.
So
they must
another
have been
3 hours
expecting
to
this
go.
to happen. Yeah. And
Listen, we don't need to ask a question. It's not going to get answered. They're still talking about the voice one.
That's right, man.
I know, it's true. All right, so we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in a few minutes. Let everybody get up, stretch their legs, and all that good stuff, and we will see you after the break.
Bye.
Beaz told me I could do this, so I did.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh,
And we're back.
Back, baby.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that was so good.
it's gone off the rails.
And this is why we all play TTRPGs, so we can get away with mayhem like this.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's see. All right, so the next question that we got came from David Tilstra, who I think is driving right now.
Oh, jeez.
So
Yeah.
he's not. I guarantee he's at least not talking. He might be listening, so I don't know if he's listening or not. But
He's on the road, Dilstra.
Yes, seriously, come on, man.
right, he would like to know, what is your first most memorable TTRPG moment?
Ooh,
Hmm.
I gotta dig deep for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The most memorable?
First most memorable.
First most memorable.
First. Oh,
It's a tough one.
sweet sassafras.
It is a good one. I probably should
That's
have
a
given
really
you the
good
question before break, so we could have thought about it during the break. But
Yeah,
I'm
now
not that-
He's the complete opposite of what everybody came here for.
yeah.
Just violence.
Okay.
So, okay. I think I got it. I think I
All
can
right.
start. Okay.
Okay, go for it.
So this actually dates back to before I remember what I was doing. Because like I said, I've been doing this since I was an inappropriately young age. Both my parents played D&D in college. And so my first experience was sitting at their table with their dungeon master. And so the first thing I remember is, and again, I don't remember the character I was playing, but there was a statue with gems for eyes. And I decided that I was going to take the gems because, I was 5. And so I decided I'm going to take the gems. And so the DM's like, okay. And so I rolled the die, I think, and climbed up there and I got it out. And it turned out that the gem was diseased. So all of a sudden, my character was dying of some terrible disease.
Oh.
And
Jeez.
because in those days, you could mix and match character levels, right? Not everybody had to be the same level back in like first edition because there wasn't that big a power spread. So my first level character was hanging out with the grown-ups like 6th or 7th level characters. So the next thing I remember is my uncle's character teleporting back to town so that my character wouldn't die.
Oh,
Wow.
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 And that's my first D&D memory.
Wow.
There you go.
That's really good.
I struggle to remember like my first TTRPG experience, so I guess it wasn't my first like truly memorable one, so it wouldn't apply. I think the furthest back I can remember, this is probably 4 years ago. 5th edition was already out. I'd already run a game or two, but I was a player, and I played a College of Valor bard named Gunulf Renalyad. But nobody liked that name. It's a Norse name. I'm half Norse, half Venezuelan. So, I was really going for that nice Viking. College of Valor is the Skald, which were like warrior poets of Viking society. I was really leaning into it. And I introduced myself at the table. and everyone was like, "That's too hard to remember. We're gonna call you Oof." And everyone just called me Oof from session fucking 1.
Oh,
man.
no.
It ended up leaning into the character because the character then, he was the bard, so he was the face of the party. And whenever we'd meet new people, the first time it happened, I was like, "My name's Oof, and we are the Snack Pack." One of our players' names was Snack. And then I'd be like, "I'm Oof, Slayer of Men, Taker of Women," but not in a creepy way. And then it was probably like 2 sessions in that I did that intro to somebody, and I said Slayer of Men, Taker of Women, and everyone else, without my prompting or anything, finished, but not in a creepy way.
That's awesome.
That was probably one of my first truly memorable D&D moments.
That is
Also,
awesome.
Oof and the Snack Pack has to be a new band name. Somebody needs to write that down.
Right?
Yeah.
I love it.
I guarantee you
Right
somebody
now,
in chat's
we just
already
create
taken
that
it.
band.
That's so good.
You went with band name. I did it for my X-rated fanfic, but
I mean, sure. Or .tumblr.com is also a good option. Yes.
Yeah.
So you guys don't mind if I use that for my OnlyFans, right?
Right, yeah.
Get in there.
No, get in there.
Here, I'll rename my current live running OnlyFans to Oof, and then you rename yours to the Snack Pack, and then we'll collab as Oof and the Snack Pack.
Oh, which is
Nice.
totally possible.
Already getting that up there.
Yeah, and it's possible for us to collab because we live 20 minutes from each other.
Right,
I've got
exactly.
my camera. I've got some good lighting set up. Let's get a good photo shoot going. Both
If I don't see anything from you guys in the next week, seriously.
And Aaron's an avid follower of both. He subscribes to both of theirs.
Seriously.
So it really, I can't promise any time frame because it depends on how long it takes the post office to get my kiddie pool and my speedo.
Oh, right. Okay.
So
Yeah.
as soon, and really actually about a good 9 gallons of Thousand Island dressing. So
Right. Okay.
Yeah, the
however long
grocery
that
store
takes.
actually banned me from buying chocolate pudding. So
I had to put on a disguise and switch up my vibe.
Right.
There you go. That's where the
no,
accents
I
come
just
in.
put on a wig and
That's
they
where
don't
the
know it's
accents
me.
come in. That's where the accents come in.
Exactly.
Oh,
Or a
yes,
voice
I'm here to
modulator.
buy The Thousand Island dressing?
Yes, my good lad, I would care for 2,000 pounds of chocolate pudding, please. It's for a business arrangement.
Ooh, there you go. I'm trying to. I think the memory for me that I can pinpoint as the moment that sparked my interest in TTRPGs, Dungeons and Dragons specifically. I think I had to have been somewhere around. I want to say maybe 8 or 9 years old or something like that. We were on a family vacation and we were visiting with some friends, and they had a couple of teenage boys, and you could tell they didn't want to hang around with the younger kids or whatever have you. But I followed them down into their basement. They had been setting up to play second edition D&D, and I remember seeing the map laid out on this table in the basement. I remember seeing the miniatures and the character sheets and the dice, and I remember asking what this all was, and they said, well, it's like Dungeons and Dragons or whatever. And I just sat there and I watched them as they were planning out an adventure, and they were rolling dice, and they had a book open, and anytime they put a book down that they weren't using, I snatched it, and I just opened it up, and I was just like, ooh, what is this? What is this? And so I remember that moment as being the thing that just went. I just started to consume that information. And then some years down the road, a family friend of ours, she had some grown sons who had gone off to college and lived whatever, and she said, I have a whole bunch of books in games he doesn't use anymore. You want them, Aaron? And I'm like, oh, sure, whatever. And she hands me this crate, and it is full of old school TTRPGs. I have Tunnels and Trolls. I have.
Nice.
I gotta put you in touch with someone. I know somebody else who has a copy of that.
I've got Champions back there. It is a crate full of these old school. It is incredible.
That is awesome, dude.
It really is. I mean, and some of them are in original boxes too. It is fantastic.
Wow.
It is fantastic.
Great.
It really is. Unfortunately, they're doing nothing right now. But it's just to, literally,
They're
I
being
sat.
sexy. They're
I
being
s-
sexy is what they're doing.
Yes, they
They're
are.
looking goddamn good in those
But-
boxes.
But again, I haven't made their OnlyFans yet. So I mean, and that's where the real money's going to come in.
If you need
So-
someone to collab with.
We'll talk later, okay? And I remember sitting there and opening each one, and I would just open the rule book, and I'm just sitting there reading for hours. And I would take the book and slap it onto the photocopier in my parents' office and make character sheets, just like I'm just running off character sheet after character sheet, and I just made tons of characters that I never got a chance to actually play.
Yes. I used to fill notebooks with them. I just sit down and roll dice.
Yes.
Just pages and pages and
Yeah.
pages.
I think I
So-
lost that notebook somewhere too. It's gone. I don't know what happened to it, but I still have the books.
My first
so
exposure to TTRPGs was 3.5.
Okay.
And I am the baby of 4 kids within 5 years. So my eldest brother is 5 years older than me, 2 sisters, and then me. And when I was a wee little lad, my brother was not like wanting to be my best friend, right? You know,
Right.
as he's like, 16, whatever, he's just kind of bullies me. But I remember him and his friends sitting down to play D&D 3.5 and me listening and just sitting in the room while they play. And I did a very similar thing. Like when they weren't using a book, I was like flipping through it.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I wanted to play and probably like 3 months go by that I never got to touch this game. But then, lo and behold, they needed a healer.
Of course they did. Of course they needed a cleric.
Of course.
So I got to play 3.5 with them for a while.
That's
But I
awesome.
remember I'm flipping through the book and I saw as a class option a necromancer. So
Ooh.
I started gearing up that way. And when I tried to finally flip that switch, my brother booted me from the game.
That's amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Amazing.
That's so funny. Yeah.
Oh,
To
that's
be
fantastic.
fair, you were still playing your part because Necromancer is just a cleric with terrible timing.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I can keep you running, baby.
Forever.
I love it.
You just
Don't matter
gotta
if you die, you're still here.
breathe your last breath and then I'll step in.
Yeah, exactly.
My first exposure, I have a relatively late exposure to TTRPGs. Really, more of what kind of perked my interest in them was background in improv. All through high school, college, and stuff like that. Me, Goovy, Andy, David, and some other people. We've been on multiple teams together through the years and stuff like that. But right around high school, me and Goovy, I remember both of us being like, D&D, dang, that is like, we're nerds, but like, that's the next step. Let's take it, like, let's really get into it.
Yeah, there was no like, oh, D&D, that's nerdy. We were like, that's the next step. Let's go, baby.
Let's dive in. Like, we're so excited. And we were so excited, in fact, that neither of us really had any idea what we were doing, but Goovy took the DM seat and he was like, let's just do a one-on-one session. And I know some people have heard this story before, and I don't know if I've said it on Tales before, but I had a character named Butt Nipples the Stellar who was a sorcerer.
We got art of that, remember?
Yeah, we did get art
Really?
of that.
Oh my god.
Nipples the Stella.
Yeah, we got
Wow.
art from
As
Patrick.
whimsical and funny as that name is, but honestly, it was such a just beautiful moment of like, we've done improv together for maybe a couple years at that point or something, but we were just like, let's figure this out. All right, let's sit down. So what is D&D?
This was within like the first, I think, month of 5th edition's release. So there was no D&D Beyond or
Yeah, it
anything
was-
like that.
Yeah, we were just going in dry.
I only owned the Dungeon Master's Guide. And so we were trying to look up what the spells did, like dance, because there was like a shitty character generator for 5th edition that came
Yeah.
out right as it launched. and Christian like rolled one up, and he was a sorcerer, Butt Nipples the Stellar, but he had all these spells that I had no idea what they did.
Oh my god.
So we tried looking it up, but that was boring. So in the spirit of improv, we just kind of rolled with it, and I remember so clearly. He had
This is
the
when I
spell
fell in love, when we just disregarded the rules.
completely.
Yeah.
But he had the spell Dancing Lights, and I didn't know what it did. Now, as we're all seasoned TTRPG players now, it creates orbs of light that cast a bright light out to 20, dim light out to 10, blah, blah,
Right.
blah, blah, blah.
Right.
That's not what I said it did. I said it stunned anybody that saw it. So he starts ransacking this made-up city that I have put him in. And he's just, because it's a cantrip, or I think I said it was a cantrip, but he's just casting it left and right, stunning everybody and killing.
Oh my gosh.
It quickly
Amazing.
devolved. He had Tiamat swoop in and kill me just to
Oh,
end it all.
jeez.
Good move.
Yeah, it was great. But that was my first like real just like wow. So this is D&D, huh?
That's awesome.
Incredible.
You can
Oh my
see
God.
dancing lights being turned into something like a disco ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rave.
Yeah.
If,
Just go.
if you had no prior knowledge and somebody says dancing lights,
Right.
I was like, I don't know,
Yeah.
lights come out and dazzle them and they're stunned. Anyone who can see it's like, whoa, what the
You
They
know,
start dancing for a couple turns.
Yeah.
that still is the interpretation that makes the most sense to me after all these years. Like that's what I thought it did early on because that's what the name says it
Yes,
does.
it says dancing lights.
Right.
Right, like it's a.
It's like a
I'm totally on board.
laser like
hypnotic
lights and like
pattern
multicolored.
is what
Yeah.
I thought dancing lights was.
Yeah, pretty
Oh,
much.
There you go.
Pretty much, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
makes sense to me.
So for mine isn't. I don't have a long history with TTRPGs. I actually started. I played my first. I was introduced to D&D when I was in the army, when I was actually deployed,
Oh,
and
nice.
Mhm.
so a friend of mine, he was like, "Come on, play D&D." I was like, Psh, "I'm not a big nerd like that." And so, a couple months of being stuck out there bored as sin, I was like, "All right, let's see what this is about. Sure, why not?" And he was like, "You can play any one of these characters." And I was like, "All right, I want to punch people. I just want to hurt people." And he was like, "Cool, you can play a barbarian." I was like, "All right, cool. Let me see what what is a Goliath?" And so my first character, I remember his name. It is Ulnok. He was a Goliath barbarian who I determined this ahead of time, who ate kobolds because I didn't know exactly what kobolds were.
Oh,
So we go into this. We're sitting here going in this party, and we enter this dungeon. And he's like, "All right, you go in." He's like reading from a module, and he's like, "All right, so you enter into the cave and are surrounded by."
Oh no.
Oh shit! And I was like, "We're like what? Surrounded by what?" And he's like, "Kobolds." And I'm like,
My time has
"Yeah."
come.
it's an
So-
all-you-can-eat buffet, and
I
I'm
just-
hungry.
And this was with this was for fourth edition. So Goliath barbarians were broken as fuck in fourth edition. So I can't remember exactly how I had them set up, but damn near anything I did would add temp HP.
Oh my god.
So I just
Oh,
ran
Lord.
in there and I was like, they were like, "Okay, so how are we gonna do this? How are we gonna Leroy?" They're like, "What are you doing?" I was like, I run in, kick open the door, rip the door off, and slap a kobold. And then, like I'm rolling and doing it, and he's like, "Jesus Christ!" And I go in there, and they were like, "All right, so now you're surrounded." And I was like, "Cool." I do a cleave, and I take out like I have that feat where when you kill something, you get to attack again.
Oh god.
So all these tiny little wee baby kobolds, and I'm just like, cleave. Let me do it again. Cleave. Let me do cleave. And I knock out like 5 of them, and I was like, "Can I do a bonus?" And he was like, sure. And I was like, I grab a kobold while staring into the eyes of the others, and I eat him. And
God.
And he's just like, sweet Christ. Okay, well, the combat is over now because nobody in this cave wants to fuck with you. And I was like, yay! I beat it.
My boy
That's
said hands
amazing.
on sight.
Teeth on sight.
That is awesome.
I
That
was
is
like, I think I like this game. I think I like this game. So,
That is a great way to break into.
Mhm.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
With a
Eating.
bang.
yeah.
love it.
I was hooked. I was hooked since then.
that is so
Oh, yeah,
awesome.
that was my buddy, my little starter boy.
What was his name?
Ulnock.
Knock. Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My,
the devourer of kobolds.
My best friend from
Kobold
high school
Cruncher.
also still plays with his army buddies, so apparently it's an epidemic.
You get stuck out there in the shit for fucking months. You know, you start looking. You can only watch anime and porn for so long. Then
Right.
You gotta figure something else out.
Why did you say "and" between those two words?
Sometimes
I'm
you want to watch
confused.
some like Rurouni Kenshin, and then sometimes, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Oh my god. I'm gonna just jump to the next question.
Oh, okay. All right.
She said, I'm putting a stop on anime porn.
Pink shoe.
Oh boy.
Let's see. Roll for Chaos in chat has used the Ask My Question next, so we're gonna jump to his question.
Oh,
And Ty would like to know if you had one event in any game you had played that you could change the outcome on differently, what would it be and why?
ooh, that's a good one.
It is a good one.
That's a good one.
I could change. Oh, I know. Well, I mean, there's a lot, but I would say one of them was that I probably in the series finale of a certain show that will not be named, probably not waste my last goddamn monkey paw wish to set the villain free, Ty. So we got to the last episode, and my character had the quirk, because in his system, we were playing his system, Aether and Steamworks, and you get like these quirks, these little special abilities.
Oh.
Mine was monkey paw. So throughout the entirety of the game, I had 3 monkey paw wishes, and it's the traditional where you make a wish. I want an ice cream cone. But you get your wish, but it's in the worst way possible.
Mhm.
So I used the first. I forgot. Oh yeah, the first one I used to like save my friends because I was playing a gifted, which is like a really fucked up warlock. Like, yeah, it's you're playing a warlock, but your patron is trying to get your body ready to take over and kill you off, so he can have a new body to live in again.
Oh.
So
Okay.
a whole bunch of happiness. And it just so happened that my patron was my dear papa. So oh yeah.
Please,
Character
Papa.
had hella daddy issues.
Oh boy.
So yeah, so my first one is like he has in his game, you can push your abilities far past what they're supposed to do. And the only trade-off for that is you have to if you roll low enough, it causes chaos. So you can do some weird shit. Like you can make I'm trying to think, like you have like a little fireball that you want to throw. You can make it take out a city block with enough pumping it up high enough.
Yeah.
But if you roll low, then I'll just use some shit to happen to me. Get turned into goddamn butterflies during a combat.
Oh.
So
Wow.
that was not great for me. I'm like, yeah, let's fuck this guy up, and then I'm floating around as butterflies for most of the combat, and I'm like,
Ooh.
God damn it. So I used long story. We summon, like we did chaos, and it says, okay, you have to summon the strongest. Excuse me, Eternal around, and we were all like, who's the strongest Eternal? And Ty's just staring at me, and I'm like, why are you staring at? Oh no. So like we summon my dad into the existence and he starts
God.
fucking us up. So I use one of my wishes to get rid of him. The second one was to save our pets that got blown up. So I like last second did that to save them for everyone because they were almost. I think they were loved more than we were, but it's fine because they were amazing. And then the third one, I was like, what am I going to end this campaign with? What's another wish I could do? And we beat the bad guy, the BBEG, and he was gonna he had a bunch of aether energy in him and he was gonna detonate. And I was like,
boy.
shit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab him and I'm going to just absorb that energy into myself. Because at that point, with that class, that gifted class, it comes down to a showdown between you and your patron. And if you win, you become like this extremely powerful being because you absorb them into yourself and you almost ascend.
Ooh.
But if you lose, that deity that patron takes you over and you're dead. They are now you.
Oh,
And that's
wow.
it.
What?
Yikes.
So
What?
yeah,
That's really cool.
That is
Yikes.
insane.
it's a high stakes
That's
thing.
picante.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's great because every level that you go up, you can choose between like giving a little more of yourself to them or defying them. And of course, giving yourself a little more gives you a little extra perk, here and there. But
Right.
towards the end, like when you go to fight them one on one, the more acceptance levels you have, the stronger they are. And the more defiance that you have, the stronger you are against them. So
Wow.
yeah,
Really
it's
cool.
it's
I'm
crazy.
sorry.
I
Ty,
loved it.
Ty, you're
I
Let's
have
take a
amazing.
minute. Let's take a minute. Ty, that's
Oh,
fucking dope,
oh,
dude.
I have
that's
just been
one of his
sold on this
characters.
system.
So
Dude,
Like-
oh my god.
if you're interested, Ty will be running a game right here on this channel on the weekend of the 3rd. He'll be here on the 3rd in the middle of the day, so you can check it out there.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So and also the one shot that I said I was running, the Pokemon one shot, will be using that system.
Oh,
So
sick.
yeah. Oh.
Nice.
Wait,
Um,
is that Aether and Steamworks?
Aether and
Yeah.
Steamer. Yeah.
We
Yeah,
we
I
Yeah,
got
the
we,
one with 119, the same system.
Yeah.
we played through that with him, and it was phenomenal.
So good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
It's so fun.
Yeah,
Gave me
I
a
got to
chance
play.
to make my Robo
I was
voice.
like, let me just absorb all this energy out this guy and I'll save us all. This guy was like, okay, well you do that and you go and he's not dying anymore from being poisoned from too much aether in him, so all of a sudden he disappears. And I was like, what the fuck you mean he disappears? All right, well I want to use my last monkey paw, and he's like, you don't have it. I was like, how did he, what the fuck? No! So he lived on because he like that connection when I was absorbing the aether from him connected us for a moment, and he was able to just steal that from me. I'm like, you son of a bitch.
Oh,
Damn.
Yeah.
That's really good, though.
Yeah. I was
spicy.
like, damn it.
That is
Oh
very
yeah,
spicy.
that would be something I wish I could change, Ty.
Don't know if you're listening, Ty, but
oh, he's listening. He's been commenting in chat. Yes, Ty's going to be running
Dang.
the 119 for us during our Extra Life charity stream extravaganza the weekend of July 4th. So, yeah,
nice.
so that's exciting. I'm looking forward to that.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So, if there was a one time that I wish I could go back and change the outcome, it's actually when I was in the DM seat. So before we launched From Afar podcast, me and the boys took a very low and slow approach to podcasting as a whole, and it all started with I was just running a campaign for me, Christian, David, and Andy. And everybody was about to like move away and stuff to different places, and so we started playing this D&D campaign so we could keep in touch. And it was Storm King's Thunder. I have no qualms running a pre-written module because I use it as very loose guidelines and kind of just do my own thing with it.
Yep.
and but we're a decent chunk of change through the campaign. We've had some very hilarious moments, some very poignant moments, some very angry moments, like in character. One of my proudest moments was after a session. David was like, "I am literally shaking right now as a human because my character is so angry at what happened." I was like, "Say more, say more." Oh, anyways,
Yeah, I
but
remember that.
there was a moment where I had taken a character from Andy's backstory, and Andy's backstory had built him up as just this like good of all goods, and I had put a little gray into him, and I think it was Nintendo. It was Christian's character. Christian's actually over there on the stream.
Oh yeah.
He's above me on Discord, but where this backstory character kills Christian. He used power word kill, and like Christian was just dead.
Ooh.
Oh.
Christian's character was Nintendo because he was adopted by a plane hopper. So the bit was that he'd been to our plane, maybe. All Christian's doing. Anyways, this backstory character kills Nintendo, and I thought it was going to be this like whoa moment, but it was more of a like, wait, he's supposed to be like good of all goods. And I was like, ooh. And then like the next session after that, Nintendo does get revivified and everything, but we played it that he'd kind of gone on like in death. He'd spent many years in this like other plane place. And it was just received really poorly. And like it kind of put a bad taste in everyone's mouth. It was a great learning experience of like the pendulum between like lightheartedness and drama and like melodrama almost. When that pendulum goes too far, you have to pull it back. And I think we just let it go too far one way. But I just remember like I delivered that scene and I'd like written it up. I was so excited. I'd spent hours prepping for the session and it got received like poorly. And I was just like, ugh. And then when you get pulled out from your writer's seat on that, then you have the moment of like, yeah, there was a lot of other things I could have done that could have been cooler or better or more fun.
Right.
And I went with this one and it sucked. Why did I do that? And I think it was a great learning moment, but I do wish I could have changed that outcome a little bit to have made it more enjoyable for the table as a whole.
Sure.
Mine's a little bit simpler. We played an off-air game with Jared Jakovich, who guested as Tuarok on our show a while back, but he just wanted to run a game for us, and me, David, and Goovy got to play this one shot that he devised. Super fun. He ran it so well, but at the very end, Goovy's character died. And Goovy has a habit of making characters that either want to see or seem to want to die or just end up dying in some sacrificial moment or something. So we were all just like very eye-rolly and everything. But it was actually due to like this legitimate story reason and everything. So we couldn't be mad, but I was like,
it wasn't my choice. I did not sacrifice myself. It was a plot line that before the session, like a week before, Jared messaged me, "You have a slawed tadpole in your chest. You know it takes about 2 weeks to gestate, and it's been about 2 weeks."
Yeah. So that started happening as I'm like, because I kind of like took the face of the party type thing. I was playing a bard, College of Whispers, and a kobold actually. And
Don't eat him.
But I was just like fully just like doing all these things like, oh, I got this. Like I'm working the system. I'm using all these, bard tricks and magic stuff to make sure we can just get out of here clean. And then like the plan goes awry and like he falls out of this, what was it? The hole of the space hole thing?
Portable hole. My favorite magic item.
Yeah, he like jumps out of it because otherwise he would keep spawning those slogs and then kill the other guy that we were supposed to rescue in there. So it's just like, it just became such a helpless moment where it's like, well, see you later. Like we gotta get out of here. We were doing like a heist prison break thing, so it was like we gotta go, man.
Yeah, the whole MacGuffin was a person we had to rescue, and me and him are inside this portable hole together as the slot bursts out of my chest.
Oh.
And it doesn't kill me, but I'm like sitting there basically at death's door, and I was like, okay, if I stay here, our whole MacGuffin person is going to die because they're both outside of this portable hole, taking us away from this prison. So I just jumped. And I remember David getting like, are you serious? What? No, can I grab him? Can I like try to reach for him? Can I like drop down and pick him up out of the air? And Jared was like, no.
Ooh.
And
Wow.
like both David and Christian were like,
Or-
Gooby,
or-
why do you always fucking die? And I was like, it wasn't my choice this time. I promise I didn't mean to do it.
It was so good. But it was a good moment, but also it was like, damn, we could have got away clean. Could have been Danny Ocean.
Ocean's 3. That's actually, I have a question for everybody.
All right.
What is your preferred amount of players at the table, and what do you typically play with?
Player number wise, or just or like
number of players other than the DM.
My preferred amount is this. I feel like my sweet spot is somewhere between 3 and 4, or 3 and 5, really. I think with a maximum of 5 players, at least for me, I can still maintain a reasonable amount of tension and role play and balance between allowing everybody to kind of have their moment, sort of thing. For a long time, I really only DM'd or GM'd for 2 or 3. It was just very small, intimate groups,
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I have done as many as 10 at a table, and it is a nightmare. So
Wow.
at one
Wild.
point, I ran D&D as a fundraiser for a youth group that I was part of.
Oh, jeez.
Which the adults did not like, but it made buku bucks because I knew a bunch of people who wanted to play D&D, and they were all willing to chip in $10, and so we made some pretty decent cash as a youth group for a bit there. But it meant that I was sometimes running 1.5 tables of 10 people, just trying to
Wow.
make sure they had a good time.
Wow.
That was crazy. I prefer 4. like you said, 3 to 5 is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've gotten so used to just doing the podcast. It's like there's 3 players, 1 DM, everyone, and there's so much trust and vulnerability already at the table between us that it makes it easy too, with like just passing the baton off like between scenes or something, and knowing when to step in, knowing when to step out and stuff.
Right.
When it gets to be that many people, it's like just the allotted amount of time you have. It's like not everyone can have a moment to shine, because otherwise, like that would just literally be an all-day thing.
Mm.
Yeah, and like as much as I'd love to say I could play TTRPGs all day long, past the 4-hour mark, people start dropping. Like you just can't be as in it anymore.
It takes so much energy just mentally.
It does, yeah.
And especially when you're recording or streaming it or something like that, you have that on top
you gotta
of
be
it.
on.
Exactly. Yeah. And
it's a different vibe.
it really is.
Definitely a different vibe.
Yeah. I know for me, there's a lot of times that I'll say like, man, if we weren't streaming, like if we were just podcasting this and just recording it, like it's funny how like when you stream it, like just podcasting it is like a step, towards like, oh, it's so much easier to just, it's so much more relaxed. You don't have to be on camera if you don't want to. And nobody cares if you're wearing a sweatshirt and your hair's all messy and, that sort of thing. And then, and then if you're podcasting, it's like, man, offline games are so much fun. Like it's just that level of preparation and that like you said,
it's funny because like it's very true, and like me and the boys have even said like we should play offline more often, and I think in the course of From Afar podcast, we have only played offline, I think 3 times, Christian.
Yeah, not very often.
And it's like, we know that like, oh, that would be such a breath of fresh air for a little bit. We love making the podcast, but it is work in its own right.
Yeah.
And
It's like
So-
getting on a stage, you know. It's you're
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
up there and you're performing. So
So
haven't-
we're aware of the fact that like, oh, running an off-air game would be a nice refresher, kind of like loosen us up a little bit, relax us. But then there's like, well, with the schedule we have,
yeah,
we kind of have to play the recorded game, and the off-air games happen 3 times now in over 2 years of us
yeah.
playing.
Yeah, I haven't played
Yeah, it's hard.
an offline game. Well, and when I say offline, I'm talking like sitting at a physical table with a group of people. I haven't done that since 2019, like pre-pandemic, and that was just because, like life just got in the way. I had a group, we were playing regularly, and then it just became like oh guys, I can't meet this week because life is messing with my schedule. And then the next week, another person, oh guys, I can't meet this week. And it was a really small group. It was 1 DM and 3 players. So if somebody can't be there, it's like,
You're done.
Why? There's nobody else. And 2 of the people in the group were married. So it's like, if one of them can't make it, both of them are not going to show up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I really miss that. I've done a couple of games, just via Discord, not streamed, not podcasted. And it's fun. I like doing it. It's just not the same, I just miss rolling my dice.
There's a different vibe playing, and even offline, but playing a game via Discord and at a distance versus sitting around a table together.
Yeah.
And I think it's a beautiful, magical thing that we have so much technology that allows us to keep these games going. I mean, From Afar literally started because we were going to be at a distance. We knew this was going to be online primarily. But the difference between those first few sessions that we played together in person, all around the same table, at my brother's house, Christian, if you remember.
Yeah.
Versus at first David just Skyping in with us recording with one mic. It was so bad.
It's so bad.
But like it changed it. And then once, Andy went to Chicago and me and Christian went to different parts of California, and we're all in these different places, of course there's still the same love and energy, but there's just a different ability to play off of each other in that real-time space.
Yeah. There's a certain quickness that's lost in like body language, being able to convey like things and stuff and all that. But honestly, sorry, Beaz, go for it.
No.
No.
I was just gonna say, so in regards to that question, is it just referring to like from a DM's point of view, or as a player as well?
I think both.
Because you know, as a DM, I don't. God no, not a 10-man. No, no, I could not. I am. That is too much for me. Now, from a player, I wouldn't want to be in too big of a group, because I'm thinking maybe 5 is decent. 5 is probably the limit of where I'd go, because as you guys have said already, everybody needs some time to shine, and if you've got too many people, that's getting overlooked, period.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And then from a DM's point of view, there are some people that love playing games with like 7-10 people. By all means, more power to you. If you can rock that, awesome. But I personally know, I can do 4. I'm not even sure if I can handle 5. Maybe possibly. But yeah, if it's I just don't want to leave somebody. I don't want to look somebody over, and somebody's trying to enjoy their time playing with us and whatnot, and then I forget about them because there's just too many. I don't want to put someone through that and give them a bad experience.
In the DM seat, primarily, my favorite way to flavor it is that you are setting the stage for your actors to shine. But as a
Mhm.
player as well, it's a common improv thing that everyone at the table is a supporting actor. You're trying to make everybody else look good, and if everyone's
Mhm.
trying to make everyone else look good, we all look great.
Right.
Oh dear.
Don't
He's
die,
dying.
Gummy! Don't die!
He's dying. No.
So as
God
him,
strike me down.
I was gonna say, as he's coughing, that's when one of us come in to
Right.
take the scene because he's
Yes,
bringing us in
exactly.
through that.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
What I was trying to say
Great
was,
offer. Great offer.
when there's too many people in a scene, you can't make everybody shine.
Yeah.
Right.
As the DM, you can't do it. And
Yeah.
as a player, you can't pass the baton off to more than like 4 people. I feel
Right.
like.
Mhm.
I mean, it's like in improv.
Yeah.
Once you have 6 players in a scene,
Yeah.
that scene's not gonna be the best shit you've ever done. Like,
Right.
Mhm.
because
There's just a lot
it's an
going
important
on.
thing to know when to exit. And once you have 6 people, 7 people coming into the frame of the game, it's like, do I exit now? I kind of was still delivering some
Right.
important stuff that I think would add, but I don't know. I just think it gets a little cloudy.
Yeah.
For a period of time, I had jumped into an already existing gaming group. I had been invited to join. But prior to me joining, including the DM, there were 7. So when I jumped in, it made it an 8 group. So 7 players, 1 DM, and let me
Wow.
tell you, it's very not only hard coming in as somebody who is outside of the group anyway, is already an existing group, but coming in and then attempting to share the scene with all these other people, like you said, Gudval, it's very hard to give and take in that scenario, because it's somebody wants to have the spotlight here, well this other person wants to have the spotlight, and it's so being coming from that improv background, you end up pushing yourself into the background more, and then not taking those opportunities to try and develop more with that,
Yeah.
So
And
I do think there's something to be said though with like traditional medieval fantasy TTRPGs having that limitation versus some more off-brand. Like there's a very small time, I guess you'd say, TTRPG called Dead of Night, where basically you're running a horror movie.
Oh,
sure.
So it's like everyone at the table is themselves. They can stat themselves up. It's a very like free-floating sort of system. But that one actually thrives with a little, like, I'd say 5 to 7.
Oh,
Sure.
Because the more players, the more horror moments that you can actually interject. Where, like, if you had 3 players for this horror movie and all these spooky moments are happening to the same 3 players, it's going to start to get a little old, right?
right.
Yeah.
But when you have
yeah.
5 to 7, then you're starting to be able to like drop this in here. Does the player even mention that they saw this? No, they don't. So they're having this all to themselves.
Yeah.
Now we're over here and doing something over here. It's a phenomenal system because it's very like simple. The rules are built to be very much guidelines. I used to have a TTRPG group that we'd do it every like Halloween.
Oh,
And
nice.
we did like a Wendigo. We did like the like ballerina girl from Cabin in the Woods, the one whose face is just like a bunch of teeth. It's horrible
geez.
and
Oh, yeah.
horrendous. And we did all kinds of different scenarios, but like that one does shine with a couple more players because it's yourselves. You're not playing necessarily into another character. You're being yourself in a horror scenario.
Right. It's
and
almost
so
approaching more like a party game than an RPG. It's somewhere
Right.
in between,
Yeah.
kind of.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do think it is something to the more traditional like medieval fantasy or like sci-fi that gets limited by that amount of players, where something a little bit more off-brand can have a little bit more fun with more. But
Sure.
yeah,
Interesting.
context, baby.
Maybe.
And just to circle back to the original question, which was, what would you change in a game?
Oh, right, yeah.
To go back,
yeah.
I'd like to go back and revise every game I ran between the ages of 12 and 14. Thank you very much.
That's a good answer.
What kind of a DM were you?
Oh, it was. I wasn't like a really terrible DM, but at least if there's anybody in chat, don't at me. But it was all very awkward. Well, because I got like 3 years of training, and then my DM moved away, and then we all turned into preteens, and we found the books, and we were like, "Hey, we should play D&D."
What a
Guess
perfect
who's gonna be the
time.
dungeon master? You are. Okay.
Okay.
Oh man, I've literally been racking my brain to try and come up with something here, because in all honesty, a lot of the moments that I can bring to mind work thematically, and so it's like I wouldn't want to adjust any of those.
Yeah.
Even failures are like great. story
Exactly.
moments.
It's like I mean, even on both sides, even as a DM or GM and as a player, there's moments where I would like, yeah, maybe I would have wanted to change it, but it led to such a great story moment that and it really informed the rest of how the campaign went, that I wouldn't want to change it, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And then I think back to when I was running a game for two of my friends. I was running In Nomine. I don't know if anybody is familiar with In Nomine.
I am familiar with that.
Thank you, Kyellan.
TTRPG I haven't heard of.
It is a
Yeah,
it is
that's a.
it is basically the TTRPG of the war between heaven and hell.
Ooh.
Yes.
And you can play either a demon or an angel or a human. And it is think of it essentially as very much a Cold War between the powers of creation and destruction.
That's so cool.
That is
It is
very
It's
cool.
super cool.
It is
Super cool.
truly a wonderful TTRPG. You only use 3d6 for every single roll,
Wow.
and there are no classes. You build your character to whatever sort of specifics you want to, and every race of angel or demon has a specific thing that they can do, and it is a very good game
Cool.
for espionage and for political things and for trying to you're attempting to go about and doing this thing without drawing the attention of humanity, basically, and that is
Wow.
where it
That's
gets
cool.
and
So, like, you want to do something big to hurt the other side, but how big can you go? Because
Exactly.
you're not trying to let the
Yeah.
humans
Mhm.
know.
mm-hmm.
Wow.
I recall
That sounds so
reading
cool.
it. It was kind of like the love child between GURPS and Vampire.
It was. It really
yeah.
was.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
it sounds a little bit like Vampire the Masquerade.
Well, and
Yeah.
and Steve Jackson Games, the people who published it, also made GURPS. So
Right.
oh, okay.
Yeah. And so
I'm
this
tracking.
one particular session I was running for them, I was trying to get across the idea that they're trying to find a particular person, somebody who is no longer a celestial. Essentially part of their celestial nature was shattered and forced into an object of some kind. But the way I was giving them information was kind of leading them into an alternate direction, and I didn't mean for that to happen. And so then they suddenly decided they needed to go to France. And so I said, great. So that's where we're going to end tonight. And
Give me a
and
second
then
to look up some maps for France.
now I need to figure out how to get you to France, and then how to get you out of France, because that's
Right.
not where I want you to go. So yeah, it ended up making for some very funny story moments, but thinking back, it's like I probably could have presented that information a little easier, you know. But
Yeah. Live and
Hey,
learn,
just-
right?
Yeah,
Time.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like with mine. Like you wish you could have done it differently, but at the
Yeah.
same time, you learned from doing it.
I
The way
did,
that you
yeah.
did.
Right.
All right. Well, we are going to take this one last question because there's a reason for it.
Okay.
We have hit the end of our evening, but Jim the Dim has snuck in and asked my question next, and it combines with our outro. So the question is: you have 3 seconds to grab a TTRPG accessory within reach. Tell the story of it with your outro. So
TTRPG accessory. You got it.
all right. So,
Wow.
Kyellan, you've already got one, so we're going to start with you. Tell us who you
Okay.
are and give us the story of the item that you grabbed.
Okay, so I am Kyellan. I am now creating music for tabletop RPGs, both zero cost and royalty free. You can follow me on Twitter at Kyellan, and you can find me on Ko-fi and Patreon, also Kyellan. All the stuff is free to download on Ko-fi, so if you want to download stuff, that's where to go. And this is, if you can see it here, this is an unpainted miniature. And the reason that I have this here is because it is to remind me that there is a box full of 150 of these from the original Reaper Bones Kickstarter that I still have not painted. So,
That's
because I
amazing.
backed it at the full amount, and they just kept adding. It was supposed to be like 50, and then they just kept adding more and more stretch goals. And by the time I got the box, I've got furniture, I've got sci-fi marines. It was supposed to be fantasy minis. So this guy is my reminder that I still have like 100 of them left.
There you go.
There you go.
That's amazing.
Awesome. All right, Aaron, we'll go to you next.
All right. Again, my name is Aaron Littlefield. I am a TTRPG player and a DM for a group of preteens. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at ShadyGod13. You can find my improv troupe at facebook.com/offbrand OBI Comedy Troupe. And you can find us on Instagram as well at OBI_comedy. And the thing I am holding in my hands is a D20 mug.
Yes.
And
Love
it is currently holding so many D6s that I can't even comprehend them. This was sent to me by a very, very close friend of mine because he and I both share in tons of nerdiness, and at one time I used to actually drink tea out of it. But I don't anymore. It just stores my dice. Unfortunately, the lid for it fell and broke into a couple of pieces. So I will, because it actually makes almost a full D20.
Oh, that's cool.
But
Oh, nice.
I gotta glue it back together. But there we go.
There it is.
Awesome.
There it is.
All right, Goovy.
Wait, Luna, skip me. I have to actually grab mine.
Okay, Christian.
Wow, the heat. All right, so, I'll do my thing. Hi, I'm Christian Spinella. I play Kippa on From Afar podcast. You can find me on Twitter at PokeSpinella, or just follow at From Afar. Honestly, that would be the best thing to do. Check us out if you want. Anyways, my thing is Pugmire. It's
yeah.
It is such a good game.
fantastic little indie sort of developed TTRPG that basically just uses 5e rule set, but it's a fantasy world where everyone is anthropomorphic dog people, and there's like also like cat people and different things, but there's like lore in the whole world and everything, and like your classes are like
the
like
main
what
lore.
breed and you are what, like, yeah.
The main lore is that they're all trying to follow the law of being a good boy.
Yeah.
It's so great.
That's incredible.
Like it's got like art like this.
Oh God, it's
Oh,
so
wow.
good.
Love it.
It's so adorable.
It's so great.
It's
Okay,
literally
Wow.
so
so
my
fun
question
and
is,
enjoyable.
when are you running a one shot that
Yep.
we're all going to play as?
Yeah, seriously.
Oh, yeah,
Jasper
for sure.
boys?
Absolutely. Well,
Just
the
let
funny
me
story,
know.
the amazing story behind it was we were visiting Andy in Chicago while he was going to school up there, and we go into a random comic book shop, and like I see that, and I'm like, that's dope as hell. Dude helping out, running the counter, comes over. He's like, "Oh yeah, I did the art for that." We're like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah,
What?
yeah. Like
Oh, nice.
most of the art in that is me." Blah blah blah. I'm like, awesome. So I'm gonna buy this now. Can you sign it, please? And then
Yeah.
he did. And
Nice.
it was
Nice.
awesome. We were like so psyched. We're like, can't wait to play this. We put it in Andy's backpack. We get on a bus, and then Andy leaves his backpack on a bus.
Oh,
and
no.
We spend
We-
the next like 4 hours trying to find the same bus to find the backpack, and somebody definitely took it off the bus.
Oh,
No.
And it's like, in the thought, we're just like, you got Pugmire, whoever you are that took that backpack.
Signed copy.
Like, are you really that psyched about this?
Yeah, there
like
was like
very
nothing else
obscure
really in
RPG?
it. I think he had a charger.
Yeah,
Pugmire,
luckily
like,
no like
Aw.
laptop or anything. But
Oh my gosh.
now it's a fun story, and we got another copy so we
Yeah.
can play.
There you go. All right, Goovy, back to you.
All right. Well, mine is this lovely little dice bag that I actually got from you, Luna, when I won a set of dice from you.
You did.
However, this dice bag does not hold dice anymore. It holds marbles.
Oh.
Oh
Me-
God! Wait, this is great.
Me and the From Afar podcast boys. And
I didn't
some
know
of
that
our
bag came
high-
from Luna.
It came from Luna, yeah.
Oh, thank you.
But,
That's- okay.
Me and the From Afar podcast boys and some of our longtime friends are very avid Super Smash Brothers players. We will literally play for hours at a time. When Smash 4 came out, we all took work off and played for like 3 days straight, where you would just fall asleep whenever you fell asleep. People would keep playing, you'd wake up, and you'd come back in.
Wow.
We play Smash. Anyways, when we are about to be done playing Smash, no matter who's won the most games, we'll say, let's have one for all the marbles.
And this has been going on for
This has been going
as
on for
long as we've been
literally-
playing together.
Yeah, literally like 8-9 years. And whoever wins that game has the bragging rights for that session of Smash. And then one day we decided to actually buy marbles and we put them in Luna's dice bag. And
I
now
love that.
whoever actually wins takes home the trophy of all the marbles. I currently have them.
That makes me
Apparently.
super happy, actually.
Not for long.
I love it.
But all that to be said, I'm Gudval Max, and you can find me at Gudval Talks on Twitter. I'm part of From Afar Podcast, at From Afar Podcast on Twitter. I play Sieghart Nozagar. I'm also heading out our Twitch stream, which will be launching soon, and we hope you guys can check it out. Thank you so much.
What? All right, Beaz.
Ass.
Okay.
God, what a good callback. So good.
Well, I will also go with something near and dear to this channel. Remember this, Luna?
I do remember that.
Yes,
love
it is a dice like a dice tracing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Spicy.
and it's magnetic
Got it.
because look, well, bam.
Nice. Nice.
So yes, I won that here on this channel.
He sure did.
And so the dice inside. Here's another thing. The dice inside, I bought those towards one of the first games that I ever like actually played online with a group of people was with my buddy Tyne and Kyellan and some other people that I actually still the luckiest man in the world because I found these people on Reddit. I just put something on Reddit, say, hey, who wants to play D&D online? And I was
Wow.
like, it's
Wow.
like asking to meet up with people on Craigslist. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get stabbed. So and my God, there were some crazy people. Some people that I was like, oh, I'm going to have to change all my email stuff because this person can never contact me again. But, fate intervened, and the two people that we ended up with, Phoebe and Milk, they were the most amazing people to play with, and I love them to death. So when I was playing in a game, they didn't really stream much, and I was like, man, I really want to. This is before I did any voice acting, before I did anything. I was like, I want to do stuff. I want to do more. Like I was listening to Critical Role, and I was like, man, So I was approached by Ty, and he said, "Hey, I'm starting this game up, Dragons of Rulo, on my system. I want to know, we've played a one shot with you before, which is the one that I played with Luna, and they were like, we love playing with you. We want to get you on this show." And I was like, "Ooh, like a show? Ooh, okay,
I see.
fancy. We fancy." Um, so I was like, "Okay, so when does it start?" And he was like, "Oh, we're gonna start on this date." And I was like, "Okay." So I told the original group, "All right, guys, I'm gonna be leaving to do this streaming thing because when I do that, I'm gonna start pushing forward voice acting and trying to make something out of it." So, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna miss you. Oh no!" And it was just a real tearful thing. So I don't know where he is. He's somewhere. I think he's on the fridge, so he doesn't get destroyed because kids are terrible. Um, but I was at work and I was on lunch break and I just so happened to stop by a in a plaza, and that plaza had a like a comic book shop in it, and they had dice and stuff. So to commemorate my character with them, one of them, like the first character I started with those guys, I bought a small goblin rogue. His name was Rakanishu.
Ooh.
And he
love
he
that
was
name.
amazing. Yeah.
Rakanishu.
um, so I got that, and then I got the dice because they were gorgeous, and I bought them the same day to commemorate my second character, the Gith Zerai, because the Gith Yankee are the like
They're the bad ones.
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a Gith Zerai, yeah. Which this is all tying in because the my Gith character, his name was Jesus Mother of Christ, I can't remember now. Wait.
That's a weird name.
Yeah, it's
Jesus, Mother of Christ,
you know,
at your service.
damn, what was sweet Jesus, what was that oh my god, my brain, because now I'm putting myself on the spot, so now I'm forgetting everything. Oh Jesus Christ. Anyway, the name of that character is what I used as the Malekna Krazak. There, that's his name.
I understand
His
why you
name
I
is
see
couldn't
why you're having
remember.
trouble remembering.
Yeah.
So I used Malekna as the name for my character I played with Ty with, just as an
Aw.
homage to them, to let them know I'm still thinking about them.
Aw.
So these two items here hold a lot of memories from me
Hell
for
yeah.
a lot
That's
of
nice.
the
Love
that.
people
You're right.
that
It
I
did all
met,
tie in.
and yeah.
That's awesome.
So
I love it.
that's my item. And hi guys, I'm Big Beaz, again, variety streamer, voice actor, often forgetter of things, and some other stuff that I said at the beginning that I don't remember. So yeah. Feel free to check me out. I'm putting out a new follow me on Twitter, because I often either in my Discord or on Twitter will put out my schedule for what I'm going to stream here and there. I do have somewhat, like, as soon as I finish running this as soon as I finish writing the Pokemon one shot, I'm gonna start contacting people and go through a whole circuit. Like, I want to run it a bunch of times. So just
Hell
letting
yeah,
you
dude.
all know, you all will be I will be sliding into them DMs.
Nice.
get
Slide
ready.
on in, baby.
You
We
got
gotta
it.
do that.
You
Only
got it.
fans
Slide,
Right.
baby.
No, I think I'm actually, for you two, I'm just gonna go over to your house and let you know.
Yeah,
when
you'll
it's
just
time.
show up
Uh,
in my
just
room.
quick, let's play. So
Big Beaz, I didn't give you my address. How did you get here?
Google is a thing.
yeah. Just, shh.
All right.
Don't speak.
And yeah, that's all I got going on right now.
Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for coming on and hanging out. This has been so much fun. You guys have been such a fun group, and
Thank you, Luna.
Thank you,
Luna.
I
This
super
was a
appreciate
really
having
fun
you.
time.
It really
It's so
was.
fun.
It really was.
I cried
Oh, it
so
was a
much from
blast.
laughter.
Oh my god.
Here is my item. I actually have two because they're both within arm's reach. This is my. I'm only covering these because I don't want them to fall. This is my wooden dice vault from Arcane or not dice vault. Spell tracker from Arcane Spectacles, and
Nice.
that is very special both because they partner with our channel. And so if you go to their store at arcanespectacles.com and use the code SHAREDEXP, you can get 10% off your order. But also because I was the second backer on their Kickstarter to get that. So
Oh, nice.
so I was super excited.
OG.
So the dice I ordered to go with it, and then alongside of it, this is the rest of the set of dice in their wooden dice vault.
Very nice.
That I ordered specifically to match the wood because, I had to do that. So that was a thing I needed in my life.
Well, yeah.
Duh.
So also, like I said, this has been Tales from the Tavern. I almost forgot the name of my own stream. And this has been great. We're usually here every Sunday night. We are taking the next 2 weeks off so that I can regroup and devote some time to planning what is coming up in a couple of weeks, which is our Extra Life charity stream fundraiser extravaganza. I don't know, some other words too. And
Spectacular.
yeah, spectacular, fun time, lots of TTRPG stuff. Between
Bonanza.
Friday, July 2nd and Sunday, July 4th, we have 24 hours of scheduled TTRPG content. So
Wow.
starting Friday night, there will be a stream, a 5e stream with with me and Amanda, and then a few other guests. And we are going to be doing a 12th level all cleric campaign called the Amen.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Wow, man.
Yes.
And yes, and then let's see, Saturday will be all TTRPG content all day. We're starting off the day with Brianna Jean running a show, basically like a coffee and TTRPG Q&A with a bunch of other creators, kind of
neat.
similar to this. And then we've got Ty running the 119 for a
Ooh,
group of
love the
people, which is
119.
super exciting. And then we have Star Shinobi coming on with a group to do another 5e campaign.
Oh, kick
Heck
ass.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then Sunday, we have our Star Wars campaign DM Atomic Zero is going to be doing a fun little 2-pager. We're trying to decide right now if it's going to be like Honey Heist or Crash Pandas or something fun like that. And then we will be rounding it out with a Tales from the Tavern, where all of our guests will have been people who participated over the course of the weekend. So we have a
nice.
very big goal of trying to raise $1,000 for Extra Life over the course of that weekend. So if you are free and
Fucking
around, we
love
would
that.
love to see you stop by. But in the meantime, you can catch our Tuesday night streams, our Star Wars stream at 8 p.m. Eastern. Or you can catch our Wednesday night stream, which is 50 Shades of Crimson, also at 8 p.m. Eastern. So hopefully you will catch us at some point. We are going to go spread a raid to our good friends Lionhead Gaming. Some of you may know Lion if you've watched our Star Wars campaign. He plays Harvey, the assassin droid. And we are gonna go over and say hi to them. They are playing some 5e tonight, so we hope you all have a lovely evening, and thanks so much for coming by. Have a great night.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Good night,
Bye.
everyone.